Are you kidding me? Like, I cannot believe what I just witnessed. That was unbelievable, and it's a disgrace for Brett Brown to be an NBA coach after witnessing what we just watched. How do you let the only sheer talent on the Pistons wide open with time running down in overtime with a 2-point lead? Untouched, unscathed, and then he just gets fouled right there to end the game. You know, there were so many miscues by the Sixers tonight. A lot of poor decision making on the players and on Brett Brown. I mean, good God. Blake Griffin wasn't double teamed all night. And it took you to the fourth quarter to put Embiid on him. Like, Embiid should have been on him the whole time. The entire game. Sarge cannot guard Blake Griffin. He's too quick. He's got too many post moves. He's too slow-footed, okay? You put Embiid on him, what are you worried about? What are you worried about? Drummond is not an offensive threat whatsoever, okay? And even if you go to double team him, what are you worried about? If they hit the shots, wide open shots, let it be then, okay? At least you have some dignity with the loss, but you can't let a guy that has been torching you all night, these easy shots, one-on-one with Sarge, one-on-one with freaking Amir Johnson. These guys cannot cover Blake Griffin. And for you to let almost the entire game pass without putting a beat on him and just roast you all game, you let him cook you. And then right at the end of the game, okay, why was Embiid at the top of the key and then following Bullock? He should have been on Blake Griffin the entire time. I mean, my God, Grif-wrap. Let's be honest. JJ Redick hitting that floater at the end was pure luck. But the Sixers have become so predictable at what they're going to do, it's just mind-boggling. We took 43 threes tonight. Why? At the end of the game with 9.5 seconds left, why is Sarge taking a three? Why don't you go down low and Embiid when he's on the block and try to get a shot off? He's fallen in love with shooting the three so much that's all he relies on. Look at the last shot with 1.8 seconds. Embiid behind the three-point line, jacking up a three, okay? Why is TJ McConnell in at the guts of the game? You're trying to tell me he does one thing better than Markelle Fultz? No, he shouldn't have been in the game in crunch time. You're trying to give this kid confidence, and what do you do when the game's on the line? After he had a pretty good game, you bench him. Yeah, that's really going to help him out, Brett. Really going to help him out. And then to boot, Andre Drummond fouls out of the game, and you don't attack the paint. It was open all night. All night. And what do? They jack up 43 threes. It is just, I'm scratching my head. And you know what the play is going to be almost every time. It's JJ coming off the screen at the top of the three-point line and jacking it up. They're predictable. Brett Brown has to be completely responsible for what happened tonight. And then after Griffin was cooking you all night, you don't even try to attack him to get him in foul trouble at all. What do? You stand behind the three-point line. Drummond's out of the game. Don't attack the paint. Let's not do that. We did it in the beginning of the game, and then we just strayed away and started what we typically do, and just start jacking up threes for no reason. Now, I counted it during the game, okay? How many possessions? There was 4 points in the game, or 4 times, I should say, during the game when we were up at least 5 or more points, okay? We come down. We don't even set up a half-court offense. There's like maybe 21, 22 seconds left on the shot clock, and we just come down and jack a 3. Now, that's killing momentum. You're not wasting any time. And the key point was before halftime, we were up 5, and we did that. We wasted maybe 1.5 seconds off the clock, so it gave the Pistons 15 seconds. They come down and cut the lead to 3. Okay, that's a huge momentum swing, first off. And it's just piss poor coaching. Piss poor coaching. So they did that at least 4 times in the game where they're up 5 or more, and it kills momentum. You can't build on your lead. And the Sixers should have won this game. There's no doubt about it. And another point during the game when we were up, they're letting guys walk into the paint, and then they're fouling. They're putting maybe like a hand on them, and they're going up strong and getting a 3-point play. Okay, that happened 6 times during this game. Okay, so as opposed to them possibly getting 1 or 2 of the line, they're getting 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. See, what they did, what we didn't do, is they hit their free throws. If we would have hit our free throws at the end of the game, we wouldn't have went into overtime. It was a huge miss by JJ at the end. Okay, you know, you can't really blame him on that. He's a 90% free throw shooter, but you got to knock that shot down. We would have been up 1 more point. Maybe the game doesn't go into overtime. I'm not going to say that was the reason we lost, because you guys have heard me vent on why we lost. But I counted 17 possessions. 17 possessions that we went down. Didn't draw up a half-court offense. Didn't draw up a play. We just ran down, went to the top of the 3-point line, and just jacked up a 3 with 23 seconds on the shot clock, or maybe a little less. That is not basketball. We are not the Golden State Warriors. We are not the Portland Trail Blazers. We are not the San Antonio Spurs. As much as you want it to be, Brett, you are not Popovich, and this is not the San Antonio Spurs. We haven't won 5 championships in the past 15 years. Okay? But to go along with the Spurs shooting so much, they had shooters. We do not. We have maybe 1 above average shooter in JJ Redick. Everybody else can't shoot a lick. So when you revolve your offense around shooting and you don't have any shooters, what is the point? There's no game plan. I mean, Christ, dude. So, Brett, I've been on your side a lot of the time, but like tonight, it's just, I can't take it anymore, dude. He has to be responsible for what he's done. I'm starting to question Brett Brown. Okay? Just because there were ins and outs of the game where we could have ran away with this, and we didn't because of what happened. Okay? Again, Darius Arch on Blake Griffin, and you just don't do anything about it. You leave it one-on-one coverage. Embiid should have been on him the whole time. No doubts about it. Now, when we do get a little bit more healthy with Wilson Chandler, you can throw him on somebody like a Blake Griffin. Embiid, too. It was really, really big. You know, a lot of weight fell on Embiid's shoulders tonight because Simmons was out, okay? Maybe they're hopefully saving him for tomorrow's game. We play Milwaukee, a far greater opponent, in my eyes, than the Detroit Pistons. So, Ben being out, all the weight falls on Joel. He got 2 quick fouls in the beginning of the game. So he was out what was it, in 3 minutes? There was 9 minutes left. So 3 minutes into the game, he had 2 quick fouls. Came in the second quarter, and then he started getting a groove. I mean, Embiid was a complete monster again, 33 points, like 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. He was huge again tonight. Covington, questionable. I do like that he was starting to come off the 3-point line. That's what I love seeing so much. The Sixers are playing great basketball in the first quarter and a half of the game. They were going to the paint. They were taking shots when they had great ball movement. They were moving in and out, coming off the screens. You know, but it's a 4-quarter game. Why didn't you continue to do it? It was working. If it's not broke, why fix it? Why did you change the game plan? Did you see Dwayne Casey? Great coach, by the way, coming down from Toronto. He's their new head coach. This is Blake Griffin's first full season with Detroit. Obviously, he's their main focal point. But anybody, anybody other than him on this team does not scare me to score. Reggie Jackson can light it up a little bit, but other than that, who else is going to beat you? I mean, why does Brett not see this? Am I the only one? I mean, this game was ours. You thought at the end when JJ threw up that floater and went in, it's like, all right, we got this. 5.6 seconds left. Defense is going to clamp down. We're going to have no issues. Embiid's going to be on Griffin. They're going to have to jack up a desperation 3. Well, they didn't do that. He had an easy lane right into the paint. Got the freaking layup. Got fouled. Drained his foul shot. Wins the game. Pistons are 3-0. Sixers are now 2-2. Going into a tough opponent tomorrow and facing Milwaukee and the Greek Freak. Hopefully Ben Simmons will be back. I would like to say I love what I saw out of Fultz tonight. He ran the point great. He was aggressive on offense. He saw flashes of what we saw in Washington. He was splitting the double team. He had that nice hustle block from behind. He's throwing his body around. He's getting into the passing lanes. So I like what I saw from him. He hit a three-pointer, and he hit his first couple shots. He hit that, to start the game off, he hit that jumper right at the foul line. But Brett Brown took him out in the guts of the game. He obviously has no faith in Markelle Fultz, and Brett Brown might be another reason that Markelle might not be able to grow into the player that we need him to be, because he doesn't give him any chances in the guts of the game. You're going to need Markelle in situations like this, and I don't think it justified putting in TJ McConnell. Don't understand how Griffin made every single three. I know he can't shoot, but yeah, he was on fire tonight. Not typically a guy that can rein it in from behind the arc. He has worked on a shot over the years, but again, when Sarge was on him at the top, I don't expect Embiid to follow him all the way out to the three-point line, because then that takes him away from the paint, and then they're going to obviously kick it down our shot blocker, charge your shot blocker away. But Sarge should have been pressing him. He had so much room where he could it was basically like a wide-open three. If you're Sarge, you got to be right up on him. Put your hand in his face. Get up into his body. Something. Don't leave at least 2 or 3 feet between both of you where he's just getting an easy shot. I mean, he's not a great shooter, but he was on tonight, and he almost had no resistance tonight, so he got an easy 50. I mean, it was unbelievable on the poor decision-making tonight. Yeah, TJ was getting... Yeah, he was getting rocked. So you're telling me that TJ McConnell is a better player in that situation than Markelle Fultz. Name one thing that TJ McConnell does better than Markelle Fultz. It's nothing. He doesn't do anything better than Markelle Fultz. At least Fultz has length on the defensive end, and he could try to put a hand and get a couple blocks. TJ is not going to be blocking shots out there. Okay? Markelle Fultz sees the floor well when he's running the point. I thought he had a good game tonight, and for Brett to take him out in that situation, it would have been a good learning experience, and he just didn't do it, and that's going to hurt his confidence going down the road. No doubt about it. This kid's no 1 overall pick. He's played less than 20 games, and you're just benching him after he didn't do anything. You don't think that's going to mess with his psyche? He's already got a weak psyche as is. Just poor decision-making, guys. Also, we had last possession in the fourth of the game, and Zazo and JoJo don't understand why we didn't post. Exactly, Philly. I have no idea. We could have got them all night. Nobody... Drummond does give Joe some fits because he's quick enough to where he can stay with him. His feet are quick enough, and he can't play bully ball because he's a big-body guy. But after he's out, you're telling me you don't go to JoJo every single time and try to cook Pachulia? He can't defend. He sucks. He's a big guy. He had 4 fouls going, into the second quarter? You could have got him out of that game, too. But he's not quick enough to defend Joe. He's got the strength to body him up, but Joe could have used his quickness and roasted him all game. All right, that's one thing. And I mentioned that earlier, Phil. I don't know if you just tuned in, but 9.5 seconds, why are we shooting a 3? Why is Sarge shooting a contested 3? You don't need a three-pointer at that point. You need 2 points to win. Why are we going with a 3? Same thing at the end of the game in overtime. They're up 1. You've got enough time to maybe get off a screen and set up a play with 1.8 seconds. You kick it in, kick it down to maybe Joe or somebody, maybe JJ coming off a quick screen to hit a 2. You don't need a 3-pointer in that situation. They know you want to go to Embiid. They know you're going to want to shoot a 3 because they know Brett Brown is a moron. And that's how the Sixers are becoming predictable on what they're going to do. So that needs to change. But I don't know if Brett is going to be able to get out of this mentality and change this. He's stuck so in the ways of Popovich. He's not branching off and trying to create his own offense. He's trying to copycat what the Spurs have done. But we don't have any shooters. The Spurs have had shooters. They drafted well. They built their team around what their strength is. I think Sarge is a good shooter, but he's struggled. He's struggled in his first 4 games of the season. And he continues to shoot. I would like to see him go down, maybe get a couple easy 2s, get to the foul line, get your confidence, get your shot going. Just don't continue to sit back there and jack up 3s. You're not Steph Curry. You're not Klay Thompson. You're not Damian Lillard. You're not Kevin Durant. Those guys are going to continuously shoot if they're not missing because they're great shooters. These guys aren't. We have maybe one above-average shooter on this team, and that's J.J. Redick. But yet we continue to just stand behind the arc and jack up 3s. The paint was wide open. Their best defenseman, their shot blocker, was out of the game. Why are they not attacking the paint? Why? These handoffs with J.J. And J.J., too, to his credit, changed his game up a little bit. He'll take it off the arc and try to go to the 10 and and he got that 3-point play at the end. There's other ways you can get 3-pointers by not just standing behind the arc and jacking them up. Try to get it easy 2s. Get to the foul line. I mean, it's just, dude, it's basketball 101. Attack Blake Griffin. Try to get him in foul trouble. They were doing it to us when Joe was in foul, when he got them 2 quick fouls and he came back in the second quarter. They were attacking him. They were trying to get him to foul out or build up on his fouls, because that's what you do. You try to take your opponent's best player out by attacking them on the offensive end. I mean, Christ. So, Sixers now 2-2. It's just, I'm done. I've said my piece. To attack the basketball rather than taking an unnecessary 3. Yeah, I agree, Anthony. And the Sixers have become predictable for that point. Fultz shouldn't have been out of the game. We know it's going to be coming. Our favorite play is JJ coming off that 2-way game at the top of the screen where Embiid sets the pick and he runs to the corner of the wing of the 3-point line and he shoots it. That's our go-to. And luckily it went in, but we weren't able to defend. I cannot believe we just handed that game away. It's early in the season. What's up, Eric? But every game counts. Every game is crucial. I want to get home court advantage. I want everything to come through Philly because we know what energy we bring at home. It amps the players up. We play on another level when we're there. I mean, it was a tall task tonight with Ben being out and everything falling on Embiid's shoulders. And he was able to overcome that 2 quick fouls. He came in, he got a quick 15 points. And the second might have even been even more than that. He ended up with 33, 11 rebounds, so he got another double-double. But you got to have more. And JJ coming off the bench, he got 30, so he was huge again. But it's our 2 other players. Landry Shamet looked like a deer in the headlights. Markelle Fultz did what he could for what time he got. But, again, he was out a minute, or however you say that. TJ got more minutes, got more of the playing time, and I don't think was as effective. Man, I'm really starting to lose confidence in Brett being our head coach long term. I'm not one of those guys that want him fired, but I'm with you, Philly. I've been a Brett Brown supporter since day one, but it comes to the time to where you just keep running your head into the wall, and when you don't learn to just stop and go around, that's like driving into potholes nonstop and not trying to avoid it. And you just keep going over it and figure your car is going to go right through it without being damaged. Well, Brett's not learning. Because we've seen the same shit night in and night out with nothing changing at all. They're predictable. He's not coaching to his own strengths. He's just trying to copycat what another team has done. He's not adding any of his own influence to the game or to this team. We play poor defense. Teaching better than winning. It's just we play absolutely no defense. Guys look lost. There's no energy when the rebounds. I've seen 4 or 5 times again. It's one and done. Like I stated before, there were 17 possessions where we just went down and shot a quick 3 when we had the lead. Now that's stupid in my opinion. You want to build on your lead. If it goes down, cool. But what are the chances? It's a 50-50 chance that that's going to go down. Okay, if it does, awesome. If it doesn't, you're leaving a lot of time for the opposing team to set something up and have the numbers going down with a fast break. Okay? We were getting out-hustled. They out-rebound us. They got 12 offensive rebounds to our 8. There were 3 or 4 Sixers. We don't box out. Covington looks lost. He always bites. You know, for a guy that claims to be the best defensive player in the NBA, he claims this. Stuck his foot in his mouth, but he protests and says he's the best defensive guy. Bites on the pump fake all the time. All the time. Creating that separation, and then they get an open look. He needs to stop being so overly aggressive. Covington's always lost. Okay? Some nights he looks good. It's Covington, the Jekyll and Hyde. He was able to shoot. He shot good behind the arc tonight, but now we're going to get a stretch to where he goes like 5 for 55. Knowing Brady's going to go in there, like, great game, guys. Continue to shoot threes. I would like to see at least 15 more threes shot. Okay? And play less defense. Next time, let's open up like the parting seas and let Blake just walk to the tin without any defense being played like it was at the end of OT. So we can lose in style, like we did tonight. We gave away that win. I'm done. I'll be chugging a ton of Pepto-Bismol tonight. I didn't think it would be starting this early in the season, but it has begun. The Pepto is being broke out. Nope. I mean, Pistons did play good, though, from what I saw. No, they did play good. I'm not trying to take anything away from Detroit. But, again, Brett got outcoached. Dwayne Casey is a phenomenal coach. You saw what he did. He worked wonders up there in Toronto. I think he got the short end of the stick just because he couldn't surpass LeBron James. Toronto always kept getting knocked out. So it was a start, start fresh, start a new slate. Pistons hire him. I thought it was a great hire. And now they're 3-0. Their first full season with Blake Griffin. They made a trade for him last year, midway through the season. But he's fully acclimated with the team. And he looked good tonight. And Brett didn't double team him. He left Sarge on him all night. And then by the time it was too late, we put Embiid on him when it mattered the most. But, you know what I mean? They should have put him on him after Sarge got cooked in the first quarter. From there on out. Why he was so afraid of Andre Drummond, why he wanted Embiid on Andre Drummond is beyond me. You could throw a body on him to block him out. Sarge or, oh God, I can't think of his name. Number 5. I'm just so pissed off. So, there's that. Sixers blow a huge lead. Had a chance to go 3-1 without, thank you, Amir, without Ben Simmons. Out with back tightness. I hope he can come back tomorrow because it's going to be a tall order to take on the Greek Freak. And with Embiid all by himself, we will not beat the Greek Freak, Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe. They got a really good team there in Milwaukee. So we will have to see. We will see if Brett Brown has learned over the past 2 years and this game. You think he'll study some film? I don't think so. I think he'll perpetually just mumble and make some bullshit excuses like he usually does. Yeah, and then we get to see Dante DiVincenzo from Nova. But Markel was great tonight, 13 points. Love what I saw out of the kid. He was aggressive, especially going to the 10 where he really flourishes, where he flourished in college out there in Washington. And I hope he continues to do this. I hope he doesn't let Brett Brown benching him in crunch time affect his mentality at all. Keep doing you, Markel. I think you're still a really good player, and you'll continue to grow from this. Don't let Brett Brown hamper your talent or let you hold you down, because he's a moron. He's a complete idiot, and I'm losing a lot of faith in him. This is Kyle Gaffner with the Bitter Birds. What did you think of tonight's game? Is Brett Brown finally on the hot seat? Is he to blame? A lot of poor decision-making, absolutely no coaching happened tonight. I mean, it was like a monkey with his ass in his hat tonight could have outcoached Brett Brown because he's a moron. Okay? A baboon's ass could have coached better than Brett Brown because he's a moron. He loves shooting the three for whatever reason with a team that has no shooters. All right, guys, I'm out. I'm going to go chug 3 gallons of Pepto-Bismol. Peace.